Today I have special guests with me. I have Francois Van Coke, as all of you guys would know him. He's the rock rebel, if you were to put it like that. And I also have with me today Wessie, our head of Multimedia Design. And I also have Ilandré Viljoen, also our third year student in Multimedia Design. Guys, thank you for coming to the show. And I think it's an exciting time for us here at the Academy to have people like yourself, Francois, coming in and just, collaborating with the students. Before we even start, I just have this question for you. You have tons of music, obviously, but then for this one, why did you choose the DSK as part of your music video project?
I think DSK is maybe not the most commercial song that I have or on this album. And I just thought, animated music video would work very well with this specific song. It's not a song that's going to play on radio. I think there's too much swearing and stuff in the song, so it's maybe not a song that's going to do commercially very well. But I think it's a song that can have a cult following, and I think that an animation video works very well with something like that. I'm super stoked that I got the opportunity to work with all these students, and I just really love the video that Ilandré made. It's not really what I expected, but she somehow put something together that I really, really like, and I think it works super well with the song.
Yeah, that's super incredible. That's interesting. Wessie, obviously you were guiding through the creative process. How did this project come about and this collaboration?
Yeah, cool. So there's one person we need to thank here, Louise Kraus. Roughly a year and a bit ago, I had this mad idea to send an email just blindly to Louise because we wanted to work with Jack Parow. And I said, would Zonder be interested in doing a music video, a student project? So you get a lot of students that's animating a video for you, and if you like it, you can maybe use it. If there's nothing you like, then it's all cool. But it will be really great to have this almost like really high level of industry and famous musician involved in the process like that. And so I sent this email, and then she answered, and she said she's going to send it to Zonder, and Zonder replied, and he's like, cool, we're going to do it. And then the rest of that was all history, and we had a very successful run with that last year. And then towards the end of last year, I kind of like sneakily said to Louise, hey, so we need to start planning for the next year again. So is there another opportunity? So she says, Francois is busy with his next solo, and it's going to come out in March. And I'm like, the universe is aligning nicely because it's roughly the time that we need this project to happen. And we kind of like booked it in by the end of last year. We said, it's cool, we're going to do it. And that's kind of how the project ran for this year. So I'm really, really honored and extremely blessed that we got Francois in to come and brief the students.
Sorry, I can maybe interject there a little bit. I was a fan of the Jack Parow video too, so it was very easy for me to say I'm in because I really like that. I'm not sure who the student was, but I really like that video, and I thought it would be a great idea to give it a smash.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we're really glad you did, Francois. So thanks for that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's really cool to see such collaborations coming through the Academy. I want to ask Ilandré before I ask Francois this question. You surprise everyone, and you are the lady of the moment. But before we go into that, how was the briefing like for you? I mean, seeing someone like Francois Van Coke into the classroom with your lecture there, and then you guys are being briefed. How nervous was it for you guys, or how did you find that process of briefing?
So since second year, I was very familiar with the third year project of working on an animation or music video. And because I really love animation, I was like, oh, I'm so excited. But then I realized, oh, we're working with South African artists, and it's predominantly more Afrikaans. And I was a little nervous because I was scared it was going to be an artist that I wasn't familiar with, or at least I wasn't that into their music. And as soon as I heard it was French, I was like, oh, thank you. I was so excited because I was actually familiar with his work and I like his stuff. But obviously, you get a little nervous as soon as we hear, like, oh, French is going to be in the studio. You're going to have to ask him a few questions. And you don't want to ask stupid questions. So you want to make sure, like, okay, yeah, no, I have everything sorted. I know exactly what I want to ask him. But I think as you get there and you hear what the other students are asking as well, you realize, okay, wait, now might be a good time to ask this. So you can't really predict it in the moment. But I think meeting Francois wasn't anything that made me very, very nervous. I just wanted to honor his work as best as I could.
Yeah.
And I think I did a decent job at that.
I think so too.
Thank you. But yeah, ultimately, first nerves, but then, I tried to focus more on, honoring it and then also giving my flavor into it as well, because it's an artist supporting an artist. So I think that sort of symbiotic relationship needs to be respected in all aspects. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. I think this one goes out to you now, Francois. What was the process like of choosing an animated video? Because if I know that it goes without saying that your music has the emotional depth and there's brutal honesty that comes with it. But what inspired you to say, for this project, for DSK specifically, I'm choosing an animated video? Why an animated video?
Yeah, I think I kind of answered that in the previous question. I just had the opportunity, and I think for the song it would have really worked well. But I can take you through the whole process of like going through 26 music videos.
Yeah, I can imagine.
If you want, it was quite intense. I mean, there was obviously a couple that stood out immediately, and then after I had like kind of the three standouts, I put them out online for the public to vote, but I knew which one I liked the most. I just want to make that clear. That I knew that before I put it out, and I was a fan of Ilandré's before I put it out. So I think when I kind of narrowed it down to 3 or 4, it was just about I think the sync to the music was like kind of important. I think Ilandré got that. She did that very well. It kind of stood out compared to the other projects. And I mean, the main thing was I just connected with it. It's not really what I briefed. It was like the brief was kind of open-ended, I guess, but I think she understood what I was trying to say and got that across in a visual sense. And I was just like, this is the one I need to use.
That's cool. And Wessie, from your end, how was the mood like in class? I mean, obviously they've got this big project that they're working on rather. And then how is the mood like from the students? Like,
I think when we start with something like this, always high stakes.
Yep.
First and foremost, I'm a huge fan, so I'm already kind of guilty of being a groupie.
Yeah.
And then kind of like having to kind of like honor that kind of like vibe still, and also there's a huge generation space that's different here, so you don't know necessarily how that's going to land with the students immediately. And there's a lot of kind of like trepidation that you kind of think of before you go into it. And I think I might have been more on my nerves than the rest of them have been. I mean, like...
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah. Like always, it's kind of like, wait, now I have to think what I want to say, what I want to ask. And it's just one of those things that happened, that the nerves is definitely there. But I think also from the student side, they understood once the project was briefed, once Francois had the chat with them, they understood the high stakes that's involved now and what needs to be done for the next couple of weeks that they had to work on it. And I think towards the end of that music video, you could see that now they're tired. You know, like I really milked the last bit out of them.
An extension too.
Yeah, it's true. I did give you guys an extension because I was like, okay, cool. We can either have a 4-week kind of thing here and we're missing out on success, or we just have another week and do it well. And yeah, and I think it worked well. The pace was high. I think an important thing that we sometimes forget is, you know, in studio and while they're working at home as well, when we're not seeing them, though, there's a constant amount of work that's just happening. Like they're constantly crafting, constantly putting things together, constantly testing things. Does this work? Doesn't this work? You know, fine-tune that. Don't fine-tune that. No, I don't think he's going to like that. It was very difficult also because we had a very good idea as a group and as students what Francois' likes and dislikes are. But at the same time, you know, you want something that's going to be memorable and also kind of like hit a different chord in a certain sense, mind the pun. Yeah, so I think it worked well. But in terms of nerves, it was, all the way high stakes.
Talking about high stakes with a big project like this, Ilandré, how was it like for you to work on this project? Were there any changes that you were trying to pivot throughout the process? Or what was like the back and forth like for you?
I mean, there were many different alterations made from the beginning to the final cut. Even in the beginning process of pitching my idea to Wessie, there were a lot more, because it's part of the album, so it's obviously ruimte, it's space themed, and it was way more like, it was originally the hospital idea, and then somewhere along the end, I sort of pushed the narrative of putting space in there. Wessie told me, like, scrap it. Don't do that. It just looks messy. And I was like, okay, you know, because I still, again, I want to honor whatever Francois wanted to put out in his album.
But you did have a last moment of
Yes,
it.
I did. But
like when they looked out into space.
Yes.
Moment.
But that was sort of like the open-ended narrative of, like, you know, Francois' future, like what that entails, which I do think that still sort of aligns with the theme of the album. But other than that, there were so many alterations, even in the...
There's more characters that actually never made it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were, you know, we only had a few weeks, but originally the staff was always, there were also going to be like different animals. They were originally not going to be zombies. They were going to be like shepherds. So like the
Are they zombies?
No.
Or did I make that up?
No, they are zombies.
They are zombies, but originally pitched, they were going to be like shepherds, like the dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe also in an undead sort of fashion.
Okay.
Cool.
But that leaned more into like the religious sort of subtext happening. But then I was just like, no, but, you know, I just want to draw a zombie. Like, I wanted to be cool.
Another funny thing that I found from this videos was the beard. The beard looked different. Francois,
The story with
what do you think about that?
So, funny story.
I'm sorry. Obviously, I've got no idea how much a mission it is to animate something or to change a beard, but to change a goatee to a beard, it takes 2 weeks, I think. That's fine.
Sorry.
That's how I understand it. I just asked them if it was not too much of a mission to change my goatee to a full beard. I've never had a goatee in my life, so that'd be awesome.
I think, no, I don't hold anything against you for, I mean, it's at the end, it's your interpretation of yourself, so I have to honor that as well. But I think just hearing, getting the tiny critiques from Wessie the day before the poll was released of like, hey, could you fix some of these things? So it's like, cool, do this text, do this one thing for like the spelling, and then it's like, change the beard. And I'm like, I have a day to do this. I don't think it's possible. So we gently said like, no, we can't do this. But then after it was decided, and Wessie has to like take me aside. He's like, you have to change the beard. I'm like, okay.
Thanks for doing it for me. That was for me.
Greatest
pleasure. I told Louise, you know, if it's possible, you know, I don't know how hard it is, but the other morning on TV, the presenters were like, oh, she got you so spot on. So I was like, yeah, I did the right thing to ask.
Since the beginning, all is planned. You know?
But it was cool. I kind of liked it. I laughed. Like when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, this is really good. This is really good. So, like, there's a lot of stuff that you guys do, obviously, in multimedia, Wessie. What was so different about this brief? Because of last year, you've worked on the same brief, but what are some of the key takeaways from this one compared to what you have done in the past?
Okay. Firstly, we had one song to work with this time around.
Yeah.
Last year, the students could choose from the album which song they wanted to work with or resonated with them. So no offense, Francois, but I think DSK is not playing on my playlist for a while. Understandably.
No, I understand that. I don't listen to my albums after they're made. I listen to them a lot while I'm making them.
But yeah, it was definitely a challenge. Because a lot of the interpretation, what the students, they talk to each other, they chat with each other, and so on. So they take a lot of the interpretations themselves and share. It becomes a shared knowledge of interpretation. So they all believe that they need to do it in this specific way or this specific way. And that made it a bit more challenging because keeping them motivated to think a little bit different or add a little bit of a different vice to something just to kind of like spice it up. That became quite challenging in this project, which I didn't experience last year. Another thing that I really loved about this one was that there was an interesting focus on narrative, definitely more story orientated, trying to tell a story, trying to have a beginning, a middle, and an end kind of vibe to the song. Whilst last year,
sorry, Wessie, can I also just sorry to interrupt you, but
no worries, dude.
Yeah, that was also something that was quite important to me, that you can watch through the whole thing and understand the story. I think that was very important to me, and I think Ilandré got that right, and it never felt boring.
Yeah, and I think that was an important thing for me that I kind of was focused on more this time around, is also develop a narrative and stick to it. Whilst last year, again, genre specific, it changes a lot of things. So if the genre is different in its sense, here you're working with verses and refrains and a very specific kind of like rhythm and the set style. Whilst if you look at last year's, for instance, the style is a lot more different. There's a lot more kind of funky things going on. You can go way under the belt in a certain sense, with Jack Parow stuff, though. Not that I think we can't go that way with Francois, but he might have gone. So that definitely there's in terms of a genre that also makes a big difference, and the difference between the two projects. Yeah, and it just kind of like made me think, okay, cool. So now, what do we do next? It freaks me out a little bit, though. Maybe I'll just take a bit of a break. Next year, we don't do any, just like, chill out.
But for you, Francois, I mean, probably it's not regular that you see a lot of artists partnering with institutions, creative spaces like with the Academy, for instance, which we are honored to have partnered with you on this project. What's the biggest takeaway also from working with the students versus the professionals in the industry?
I think I kind of tried to handle it as I would handle it with some professionals in the industry. I think the critique that I gave the students would be more or less the same things that I would say to professionals in the industry too. So I hope I could have done that for them, and I hope they take to heart what I say. It was very cool to see so much work and different interpretations of the song from the different students, and I think there's so much talent coming from that bunch of people. It was really cool to see, and I hope that they kind of just feel that they experienced working with client, and I hoped I could have treated them like they were working for me.
And your end, Ilandré, biggest takeaway from this?
I think, well, obviously working with someone who is already in the industry, and as you said, you gave critiques the way that you would for a professional. I think having that was very fundamental for my learning, and as well, like, I would appreciate it because I wouldn't want a watered down, like, oh, this is so cute, yes, good job. If I don't know my mistakes, how am I going to learn in the future? So any valid critiques that the client has to give to the artist, it should be concerned for and, accounted for. So I think, yeah,
who gave you the harshest criticism here?
Wessie, probably.
I'm just going to play the bad cop. Who gave you the harshest criticism?
No. I think there weren't any like hard pills to swallow, but one of the things is like if you can be as ambitious as you want in a project, but sometimes you have to kill your darlings, and I could probably work on that project for forever, but sometimes you just have to like settle and say like, oh no, this is so sick now. Yeah. Like this is cool. Here's the final product. So yeah.
Yeah. Any future projects that you are working on, Francois?
Yes, I'm always kind of on a mission to do things. I'm busy with a very undercover collaboration, a very unexpected undercover collaboration about the unexpected topic that will be released soon. Also made a music video for that, but I'm going to keep it undercover for a bit. I'll throw out a date, the 27th of June, something will be happening, and it will be unexpected, that's for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I'm always writing. I haven't really started writing properly after this album was released, but my plan is to get into that vibe very soon.
No, that's cool. That's cool to hear. Wessie, from your end, what were some of the winning battles that you think the students kind of won from their end? I mean, it's 24 videos or 25, is it? How many students do you have?
Yeah.
24. So I guess also for students working with Francois like this, there were some of the biggest losses, obviously, and the biggest winnings. So what were the winnings in your end? Other than Ilandré, we know that she's the lady of the moment. But what were the closest winnings for you working with Francois and the students?
I definitely think, firstly, their technique has improved hugely from the second year. And it's freaky to think, I mean, this is a project that runs very early in their third year. So they're not yet almost kind of like privileged into lots of different techniques or lots of different styles that they've practiced or have kind of worked through. So in terms of the group's growth, in terms of technique, it's like fundamental. I'm really bowled over to see how much difference there were towards similar exercises that they've completed from their first and second years into their third year. I definitely think there's a strong understanding now of why we focus so hard on storyboarding and style framing to produce any motion work. So that for me is also a big win. The importance again of understanding a good story, that was also a very big win. So those are definitely my big wins. I obviously also have my favorites. Although Ilandré's was a favorite, so that was like
head on. Favorite, Ilandré?
I don't know if I was
did our favorites align, Wessie?
Yes, they kind of did, Francois, except for one. Yeah, but I think, again, sometimes as a lecturer, you're so close to that work at the end of the day, and you see it so often, and you see the grind. So it's very difficult to then take that objective perception and objection also from where it's coming. And then it's a bit weird. But yeah, there was only one that we were a bit out with, but otherwise spot on.
I actually have to tell you guys a funny story. When I was going through the videos, the first time my daughter was sitting with me, and she's 8, and we watched this one together. Ilandré's video together, and she was like, "Oh no, that's so scary. That's so scary. That's freaking me out." And then I kind of stopped watching it, and I left it for a while, and I only went back to it like after I watched everything again, and I was like, boom, I almost missed this video because my daughter thought it was too scary.
Ilandré, you scared kids. What's your
But yeah, she
response
likes it now. She likes it now.
How cool, man.
I think it's maybe just the style because last year we had to do a title sequence. My mom would go to my aunt's house and my 3-year-old cousin would always say, because it's a Fantastic Mr. Fox title sequence, not to derail this, but he would also like, "Oh, Fox, Fox, Fox." I think he's seen that thing so many, like 100 times now.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the same thing of like, I hear the audio that I've been working with for countless amount of times that I've grown sick of it. Not the music video, don't get it twisted. But it's always nice to have like some sort of reaction from a party you wouldn't expect because it's I don't know, I think it's cute.
That's cute though.
Yeah, no, I also thought it's cute. I'm just I just almost missed that video because my daughter didn't want to see it.
But also it's a good thing because of it probably piqued your attention to say that, oh, I wonder what's in there then I'm gonna see what's
no, it definitely like from her perspective, I mean, she was kind of sitting here with me in the seat, like in front of this computer, and there was an immediate reaction, which I mean is good.
Yeah. So I have to thank your daughter.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. Just also asking you industry related type of questions. I mean, the industry has changed obviously over the years, and you've been here for the longest time. What are some of the technological changes that you have seen in the industry, and how have you adapted to those?
I mean, I've been kind of playing music full time for 22 years. So everything has kind of changed. I mean, when we started making music, we made CDs. We've gone from CDs to streaming, which was a massive change. I mean, when we started making music videos, we didn't even have a platform to play it on. It was before YouTube was even around. I think our first videos went on like someone's YouTube channel, and no one used to watch YouTube. And now I think from a video point of view, people are actually looking for shorter kind of content that they can check on their phones, TikTok vibes. So it's difficult to actually get people to watch through our whole music video. That's why I thought it's very important that someone can, watch the whole story and stay engaged for 3 minutes, because people are like, they're looking for this shit. Like they're looking for something short and something that can keep them entertained, like TikTok, which sucks. It's terrible that people are moving away from music videos because of that content. I think I saw a change in that COVID time. I think that's when TikTok kind of took off, right? 2020, 2021. That's a bit sad about the music industry. But I mean, about all kind of industries that involve creative and visual and stuff. In 22 years, I don't know. I actually don't know where to start or to end, because everything has changed in 22 years. And I think what's just important is to kind of try and adapt, and while you adapt, also kind of stick to your guns in a way, and to get that balance right to move forward in the industry like that.
Yeah. I think also it's really important that we touch base on this thing of adapting to technology, and some of the changes that are being brought by technology itself. Do you think that animation still has the future in the music scene space, or just the broader industry?
I think Francois answered a very important question in terms of kind of nuanced videoing and nuanced clips. We're landing up of this almost I always just remember this kind of process. It was back in the day when I started studying, and I remember Guy Ritchie did these videos, video adverts. They were films for BMW at that point in time. It was this whole argument about how the advertising industry is changing, and we're going to have these long format ads and so on and so forth. And this is like groundbreaking, you know. Now I look at it back and it's kind of like the same. 24 years later, now, you know, we can barely kind of concentrate for 10 seconds trying to keep a message or have that kind of idea. People don't concentrate that long. So there are a lot of pitfalls for content. We've moved from static content a lot into motion content. So one thing that I can say, that's a grab. People want that. They love to see videos. They love to see animations. They love to get hooked on that kind of thing. They don't want to watch it for too long, obviously. And they like variation and a lot. The more variety, the better. So when it comes to technology at this point in time, in terms of what we do, I think animation, motion has got a huge kind of foothold for helping in creating content, and it's definitely something that people are constantly looking for. If it's, you know, live shot video, animated, motion graphic. There are a lot of advancements that's also happening in that space, so you're starting to see a lot more tools that help you do things faster and more rounded, so that there's less slog work for you to almost do in it though. But the most important part is like still you need to come up with a good grab. You need to come up with a good story on a group, kind of like get people's attention immediate. And I think that will become the next thing that we'll be fighting for, is how do we keep people's attention for shorter periods of time. So
sticking to that, I think, Ilandré, how did you find this process of grabbing the attention of your audience and making sure that you animate something that is captivative as this video of DSK?
Well, I think since I am someone who does love animation, I stick to what I personally like, and that to me is like there needs to be not constant motion, but the motion needs to make sense, and it needs to lead the one scene into the other flawlessly, or at least in a way that makes the audience go like, oh, nothing was like weird, nothing was jarring or in any sort of sense. And then the attention grabbing bit is just having visuals that support your content, so that being like pacing, the music, the story, the narrative, and then that which supports your visuals, which is your motion. So that was the action sequences, your smear frames, the actual fighting, some little effects. So there's small things that no one really thinks of, but as soon as you lose it, so there's like, I mentioned smear frames, those are the black and white, very quick 1 second almost shots right before the panning of like the weapons in the music video. If that's gone, it will look super awkward, and you'll actually think like, okay, you know, it's just guys swinging their weapons around. But there's so much nuance and like technical aspects that goes into animation, which I don't think get appreciated enough. So animation is such a valuable tool in this industry, and sometimes I think people take it for granted, and I think I'd love people to appreciate it more. But I think as technology evolves, it'll make the process easier, but I don't want people to forget the roots of how it actually got to this point. And like the human touch shouldn't be lost in like AI or technological advancements. Like that will always be the root of something so brilliant.
Oh, no, that's cool. I think we are going to wrap it up now. Where can people find you, Francois? What's happening? What are the exciting things that you are doing right now that people can catch you up on? You mentioned your undercover project.
Might have my undercover collab. Yeah, it's going to be a big surprise. But I'm very excited about that. But people can find me anywhere online. Francois Van Coke, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on TikTok even, guys. I'm like hip and shit. I'm probably too old for TikTok, but I'm trying. I'm not trying very hard, but I'm trying.
If you can't beat them, join them, eh?
Yeah, I'm trying to join them, but it's hard, man. It's a hard slog, another thing. But I've got a website, francoisvancoke.co.za. People can reach me from there anywhere. And this video is also on my YouTube channel. And maybe I can just sign off when she was talking about the fight sequence. I think that's also one of the things that landed it for me. It was I really enjoyed the fight sequence in a video a lot, and got my band members spot on and their guitars spot on, which was very cool. Boom.
Ilandré, now you're the most famous person now.
Oh, that's
How do you handle that now? Like the whole...
No, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Family members that I haven't spoken to in years have been congratulating me. No, it's been very, very overwhelming, as it has been very appreciated. Everyone in the class has been so supportive. All my family's been so supportive. Everyone's been nothing but kind and encouraging. And I do think it's really exciting for both my career, because this is my last year. So walking into the industry with being in such a cool collaboration project, I'm very excited for the future.
Any closing proud moments that you have, Wessie?
No.
Because I see he's all smiling.
I'm just like, first and foremost, obviously always thanks Francois, thanks Louise, for saying yay and let us go for it though. Thank you for being interested in doing it with us. It's been a journey and we've really appreciated it though. So like I said, I don't know what we're doing next year. We might kind of contact you again and say, yo, Francois, we need some.
I'm definitely keen for more animated videos, Wessie.
Dude.
But thank you for putting this whole thing together, and I really appreciate it that you guys used me, and I'm very stoked that I was involved.
It was lekker. Yeah, thanks, Francois. And obviously to Ilandré and the whole team, all 24 of them. In closing, I want to thank them. They've been really working their butts off the last couple of weeks. Their short film is coming out now. They made a short film together as a whole group. And that was a big project directly after the music video project to start with, though, and they've pulled that one off well. So I'm very thankful for the team. That they've been all just kind of like grooving along and just having a good time. And thank you for the podcast team, you and Sizwe, and everybody prepping for today. It's really an honor to be here and having this chat. So that's my closing thoughts.
Okay, cool. We sign out. Thank you so much for another venue where ideas have space.